So what is acting? Some people say it is behaving in a natural fashion in unnatural circumstances, which is great. That's a good example of what it is, but it doesn't really help you get to where you need to be. My own preference is to say that acting is reacting. And to give you an idea of what I mean by that, I'm going to tell you a little joke. It's a rubbish joke, but it'll help you get to grips with what I'm trying to talk about here. There's a young actor and he's just started out and he's got his first job and he's going away on tour around the country in a Shakespeare play, and he's got one line in this play, and the line is, "Who fired the gun?" And he's racking his brains about how he should play this line. This is his big opportunity. But fortunately, in the company, there are some very, very well-known actors. So he thinks, I know what I'll do. I'll ask those actors. So, and forgive the impression, the first actor that he approaches is Sir Michael Caine. And he says to Sir Michael Caine, look, I've got to say this line, which is, "Who fired the gun?" Could you pack it? What shall I do? How shall I play it? And Michael Caine says, "Oh, well, there's no problem. What you need to do is just to say, 'Who fired the gun?' Simple." So our young hero thinks to himself, "Oh, right, okay, that's it. That's simple. I've got it. I have got it." And he's going to say the line like that. He knows how he's going to play the line. But then he bumps into Sean Bean in the corridor at the rehearsal room. He says, "Oh, Mr. Bean, would you mind awfully? I've got this line. Mr. Caine's given me some. How would you say it?" And Sean Bean says, "Well, I would say, 'Who fired the gun? Who fired the gun?'" So our hero thinks to himself, "Okay, right, I've got Sean Bean saying it. It's a bit different to Michael Caine says it. Maybe it is. Maybe it's the same. I don't know. I'm a little bit confused now. I know. Perhaps I'll get a woman's perspective on the thing." And sure enough, in the company is Joanna Lumley. So he goes and he asks Joanna Lumley, and he says, "Miss Lumley, I've got this line which is 'Who fired the gun?' So Michael Caine has told me to do it one way. Sean Bean's told me to do it a slightly different way. How would you say it?" And she says, "Well, that's easy, darling. I would just say, 'Who fired the gun?'" Apologies, Joe. I'm an actor, not an impressionist, as you can see. But the point is that our young man, our young hero, goes back and he's thinking about the advice that he's got from these three great actors. How should he play it? He doesn't know, and it's going around in his head. And the great night comes. It's the opening night, and he makes his entrance, and the big cannon goes off behind him. Bang! And our young man goes, "What was that?" The point I'm trying to make is that he reacted in the moment. It didn't really matter what he'd done before because he hadn't really factored that into his equation. So everything that we're going to do when we're working together, and this is the end result, if you like. We will put in place exercises that get us to this end result. But the main thing is I want you to know where we're going, and I want you to know that we are going towards a state where you are, as an actor, your character is reacting naturally to what is going on around them. Okay, so it's almost organic, if you like. In the same way that we spoke about, or we will speak about, the hummingbird when it makes all of those calculations to get in. You haven't got time to be thinking about all of those things. You haven't got time to be thinking how Sean Bean would say it, how Michael Caine would say it, how Joanna Lumley would say it, how Mark Begg would say it. Those things shouldn't come into your thoughts. Your thoughts should be a natural reaction to the impetus that has been given to you, whether that's another line from somewhere else, whether that's, and this is the most important thing, what your character wants. Okay, so we are always going to be driving toward that thing, what your character wants. And if you know what your character wants, it's much easier for you to react in a natural way in unnatural circumstances, on a film set, on stage, wherever you are. So our young man, he would have been better off thinking, okay, what I genuinely want to know, what my character wants to know is, why is that gun going off and who is firing it? Instead of thinking about how all these other actors would be saying it, he should be thinking, my character comes on, when that gun goes off, I want to know why it's happened. Bang! Who fired the gun? But the point is that the gun going off provoked a reaction. In the latter example, in my example there, rather than it being a thing that was already planted there. There needs to be things that are planted there, but it doesn't need to be how other actors are going to say it, or even how you're going to say it. You shouldn't really be thinking about how you're going to be saying a particular line at any given time. You should just be thinking about what your character wants at that time and letting your body and your technique take over, so that you react naturally to the impetus that you're given. How are we going to achieve that? Well, in the coming weeks and months, we are going to be doing a number of exercises which start to get us to think in those ways, start to get us to react in natural ways, and start to think about how different characters would react in different ways about different events. So I hope that makes sense. If you remember who fired the gun, it's not about preempting it. I mean, obviously you've got to learn your lines. It goes without saying. You've got to learn your lines, and you've got to know where you're going to be at the stage at any time, and those are pre-factored in. But the way that you deliver your lines, please don't try and preempt that. Work out what your character wants and go from there.